Good morning, everyone. Thanks for your attendance. So my name is Napaai. I'm a personal librarian for the College of Graduate Studies, as Tony has alluded to, but I'm also responsible for other subject areas in the College of Human Sciences, your information science, your communication science, linguistics, history, and political sciences. So this morning, we're going to go through the following. We're going to look at Mendeley as a reference management tool. We subscribe to Mendeley as a database. Mendeley is actually a database where you can go and deposit all your references. It's a management reference tool. You will have to register an account with Mendeley and create a password which you can use for your Mendeley. Usually when you are new, you have to create an account and then download all the necessary other features of Mendeley. So when we go live, I'll show you how you're going to do that. When you open that account, there are downloads that you have to make. So you have to have a Mendeley online page, which is your library of references. And also you have to download your Mendeley offline page, which is your desktop version of Mendeley. So when you are offline, you will still be able to use your Mendeley to write your papers and to read up on your references. Because when you export into Mendeley, you will be able to export everything, the reference of the article, whether these are conference papers, your ebooks to your Mendeley account, and they come with a full PDF where you can, use this library of yours offline. Why we have chosen to showcase Mendeley? It's because Mendeley allows you to work offline. It's not like our other reference management tool, which is RefWorks, it's one of our old reference management tool. We started subscribing to that one first before we moved on to Mendeley. RefWorks, it's similar to Mendeley. It's got similar features, but the only disadvantage with RefWorks is that you won't be able to have a desktop version of RefWorks where you can work offline. So with data being an issue and with all the load shedding going on, so it's nice to have Mendeley on your desktop, and even when the systems are off, you don't have to be connected to the internet to be able to access your library. And I'm going to quickly show you how you're going to search for articles, which by now I think most of you are aware how to do that. I'll just give you an example and how you're going to export what you have searched into your Mendeley account. And we have in the library, if you open the library's homepage, we have what we call the Encore search function. Encore is actually a system that allows you to search across databases that we subscribe to. It's bigger than a single database. It allows you to search across ebooks, across conference papers, across journal articles. And why am I going to showcase the Encore version of searching? It's because with Encore searching, if you don't go through the database searching, it will also allow you to be able to export some of your work from Encore version, because it's on the website, which includes all kinds of material to your library of Mendeley. And why is that important? It's because when you do these Mendeley downloads, beside your desktop and your online version, there's something what we call the it's called the web importer. So you will be able with Mendeley to import anything on the websites that you are using into your account. You will realize that when you work on Google Scholar, you are unable to select the articles or maybe something or the books that you are searching for. So there's a way for you to be able to do the settings on Google Scholar. I'm just going to demonstrate that to you. How are you going to do the settings for you to be able to send those references using the web importer to your Mendeley library? And then finally, we're going to look at what we call Mendeley site. This is your it's your Word citations. If you work on the Word document like you are writing a chapter, I'm just going to demonstrate to you that now, once you have this library of references, how are you then going to be able to do your in-text citations and even create a bibliography when you submit, whether it's your chapter 1, whether it's your proposal, whether it's chapter 5 or 6, whether you can submit the entire thesis or dissertation to your supervisor. How are you now going to utilize this library of yours of references to be able to submit your work with your in-text citations and with the bibliography that the system is going to create for you automatically? But first, I just want to tell you that there are different citation styles. Each and every department has its own way of preferences. UNISA has a Harvard method, which is a generic citation style that has been generated. You'll see when you go to some of these databases, when you select, and in some instances, it tells you that there's a UNISA version of the Harvard. But Harvard has got different editions. And some departments like your psychology department and some of the social sciences departments, they use APA. And in the linguistics and language areas, they use what we call MLA, which is the Modern Language Association citation style. But before you even start with your citations, just make sure that you get proper guidance from your supervisor. Because I know some departments, for instance, the department that I'm responsible for, information science, they've got their own PDF document on the guide that I'm responsible for, where they put that PDF document. It's actually it serves across all students of information science. So it's meant for their undergraduate and all their postgraduate students. So if you are an information science student, you are lucky, you've got a guide on the library guide where you can look how your department prefers that you follow the citation methods. It's a guide, it's a PDF, you can download it and keep it somewhere where you can see if you have an author or two authors of an article or of a book, how do you cite that? So all of you this morning, just before you choose a citation style, check with your department or your supervisor for guidance and just stick to one citation style. And I know in some instances, some of you are doing PhDs, there will be a time where you have to publish. And publishers actually require a specific style when you have to submit to their journals. So whether you're using an APA, they might want you to submit your work using an APA style of referencing. So these products, our Mendeley and even our RefWorks will always allow you to interchange between the two styles. You'll see when we go and look at the Word document, there are variants of styles that you can choose. If you are writing an article, you can just decide, okay, this article I'm submitting according to Harvard. And when you submit the second article to another publisher, they might want you to submit your style of citation according to APA or MLA. So you'll be able to interchange between the styles. Right. So this is, you are familiar with this page. This is our home page. We're going to go and look at the library guide. You all know by now who your personal librarians are, and you all know how to find your library guides. If you go to any of your library guides, at the top there's a referencing tab. Under that referencing tab, when you click on it, it will give you all of these referencing management tools that you can choose to use. I know in some departments, like your history department and anthropology, they use Zotero, you know, for people who are in anthropology, and also the law people, they use their own way of referencing. So you check with your department for any of your citation styles. And if you go to the law library guide, you'll see they've put the relevant stuff for you there. So it's not the same, but the referencing tab in all the guides is the same. We have the following. If there's any additional, like your law and maybe some of the anthropology departments students, you'll find a different version of what you can say. So I talked about the referencing style for this particular department. So the information science students might have their own, and the health studies, I know there's a guideline there, and some of the education departments have their own guidelines as well. So look at that, but confirm with your supervisor or within the department. So you come to your library guide and you click on that referencing, and then you click on Mendeley. It will open on this page. So I hope most of you have already registered accounts, and I must urge you here, if you go and open an account with this database, just make sure that you're using your MyLife email account, because these are paid up databases. So we don't want you to use your private email account. If, for instance, you have already registered from another institution and you're still carrying a private account, there's a way to send Mendeley an email so that they can change from your old email into your new. Just contact their help desk, they'll be able to assist you. So you go at the top there and create an account. But because I already have an account, I'm able to log in with my UNISA credentials. And this is the page that once you have created that account, this is the page that you're going to see. It will welcome you as it gives you your name. This is my Napaai. This is my page. I'm allowed to search from this page. But because let's say you are new, one, you have to go and download the following. The reference manager, which will be the version of your online library and the version of your desktop library. And then you have to download what we call the web importer. That is when you're going to use the Encore version of searching and your Google Scholar searching, which will allow you to send all those references to your library, to this online library. And remember, when you work online, when you export, anything that you send to this library will also appear on your desktop library. You will see when I go and log into my library, there will be something happening. There will be a sync. It will sync what I've sent here to the desktop version. It always talk to one another. What you see on your online version will always appear on your offline, on your desktop version. And what I would want to tell you that the same credentials that you use to log on onto this online version should be the same credentials to use when you log on onto your offline version, your desktop version library. So this is how you're going to now, this is the landing page of your library. You do all the downloads, like I've said, they are all up here. You just go for one to your Mendeley site, which will actually sit on your Word document. When you open your Word document, when you go references, you will see the Mendeley icon should be there. And then once you've logged in onto your Mendeley account, it brings all your references from both from your online version, or it fetches your references from wherever. If you are on the desktop, it will take you to the desktop and just bring all the references here. Then you are able now to start working and telling the system, I want this reference here on my document, cite it, and then it will do it for you. Okay, so you do all the downloads as required, your Mendeley site, your Mendeley desktop, and your web importer. Your web importer should actually sit at the top of your search function. You see this address up here. There's the icon of Mendeley. So if your web importer has successfully been downloaded, it has to sit up here so that when you work either on Encore or on Google Scholar, you are able to utilize this. You're now fetching references from your library so that you can send them to your main Mendeley page. So this is the search function. This is a search example that I've done. I looked at the theoretical framework or conceptual framework in my area of responsibility in the information seeking of any of our clients. So my theoretical framework or conceptual framework, it became a too big a search. I've just decided, I told the system I want these terms in the title of my articles, and then this can be my keyword or it can appear in the subject field of my searching. But before I even press the enter button, I had to refine my results, where I said I'm only interested in peer review articles, and I'm only interested in English because that's the only language that I can read. And I've just dated my articles. I'm only interested in the articles that were published between 2015 and up to now. And you know the mantra, you look at the abstract, you decide whether you want this article or not. You use the hourglass to click there and you read the entire abstract. When you think that this article will answer your research question, then you use this plus sign as a way for your selection. And then all of these articles will be in a folder at the top there, or they can be appearing here in this folder view. So I made my selection of the articles that I think will be key to my information seeking behavior of my library clients. And I'm satisfied with my articles. It's a long list which I can go and look at and just add as I wish. And then I go to my folder view here. Now I want to send these articles to my library so that I can go to my library and open them there and read them there, because I don't want to send them to my email. Remember the previous time when we did our library training, I showed you where how you can email all the articles for you. But now we're going to use today's exercise to export some of these articles to our Mendeley library pages. So you go and open that folder view, and then it opens on this page. You are familiar with this. The last time we send our selected items to our emails, but this time we're going to export them to our Mendeley reference management tool account. So you click on export. When you arrive on this page, the default here, because we used to subscribe to RefWorks, will be here. It will say direct export to RefWorks. But because I'm not demonstrating RefWorks, you have to change this to your reference manager, the top one. So you select the top dot there where it says reference manager. You want to export this to reference manager. Then you click on save. So once you've clicked on save, you will see it becomes an RIS file at the bottom here. So as soon as you click on that RSS file, it appears on your Mandalay account. It opens on the Mandalay account, meaning it's now being exported because your RIS file will have this icon. So it tells you we are sending these two references to this Mandalay account because you've already asked for it here. So you click here first, and then you save, and then it goes down here as an RIS file. But when you double click here, if you are already logged on to your Mendeley account, it will appear here. So these two items are here now because I'm already logged in. So they are in my library. This is my online library. If I were to go now and log on to my desktop, I will see the two items sent also on my desktop account. And if I log onto my desktop account at the bottom here, I will see something green happening, like it's syncing. So my desktop is going to fetch these two articles to update the desktop account, library. And always your recently sent items will appear at the top of your references of all your articles, or is it ebooks or whatever. All your recently added items will be at the top of your list. And if you want to create folders, for instance, you can do so. Like you see here, I've got my own collection. If you're dealing with different topics as a researcher yourself, especially the PhD students, or if you want to send different chapters and you're not sending all at once, you can just create subfolders for chapter 1, chapter 2. You just open a folder and then you create a new folder for that particular chapter, so that when you pull references and if you want to submit chapter 3 or chapter 4, you don't send references for chapter 3 with chapter 4. You want to send specific references that talk to your specific chapter. So this is how you're going to do your search, export to your reference manager and save it. And when you open that RIS file, it will just automatically go to your library, your Mendeley library. And this page actually looks the same as your desktop. This is the desktop version, which is totally different from your online one. So your online one has an address on it. You can see this is an online version, and there's your web importer sitting there waiting for you to go to any website to export via web importer. Your desktop actually has this Mendeley reference manager with an icon at the beginning of the word. So this is your desktop version. This will always sit on your desktop and it will allow you to work offline. So there's the two items that I've sent to my online one. They are replicated on this desktop version page. Okay, so if you click on any of these recently sent items, it will give you an abstract like you always do when you're doing your searching. It will give you an abstract and a link if you don't have a version of the PDF. But you can see all of these articles. Can you see all of these green dots next to these? It means all of these articles are available in PDF format. Sometimes you'll have a PDF link here where you have to click on it and open it, or you'll have a link. When you click on that link, it takes you to the original page where you find the PDF. Either sitting PDF will sit here, or on your right-hand side where it says view now this PDF. So when you click on that PDF, it says you can add this whole article as is so that you are able to read it on your Mendeley library to your Mendeley account. It says here, add to my Mendeley. So you can add this whole PDF, meaning you're now adding a readable article on your Mendeley account, which will look like this. It's the same version when you wanted to open it from your Mendeley account, but now it allows you to read this. And if there are parts of this particular article that you want to use for your research, you can just download maybe parts, or download, you download parts, or you download the entire article. But adding this to your Mendeley actually means now you are on your Mendeley library, you want to read the article online, and you want to make notes, or you want to download certain parts that you want to use for your thesis or dissertation. So that's what it means. But you can still open the full text on your Mendeley if you want to, but it's nice actually to add it because this is a readable version of the article. On your library, it will only indicate that there is a PDF version of this article, but then you have to go and fetch it from the publisher's page and be able to add it here so that you are able to manipulate the article, to read it, to make notes, or to print it if you want to. I know most people don't print, or to make notes while you are working on it here on your library. So this is still my library, has my name here. I managed to open this in a readable format because on my library, usually it gives me the name of the author and the name of the article, the abstract, either the link or the PDF version, the link to the PDF where I have to go and read it somewhere, but you are able to take that PDF from the publisher's page and add it here. So you will have a duplicate, but this is the nicest way to read your article. Okay, I hope I make sense. Right, so we are done with searching the articles, and I'm sure by now all of you can do that already and exporting to your Mendeley library account. On the library's homepage, under the search the catalog, when you click on that link, search the catalog, it opens in this format. Remember the last time we just went here and did a keyword search for any topic of our choices. But this time we have what we call Encore quick and easy search. So this quick and easy search, if you want something, let's say you have a topic and you're not interested to actually request books from the library. The process, it's so tedious, it's long, and you are in a hurry to, just write this chapter quickly or make corrections. And you want to look whether there are possible ebooks on this particular topic. So the system, the Encore system will allow you to search across databases. So there are databases that you can search throughout, the ones that we subscribe to. So here, I just made an example that I'm looking at the research methodology and the term in the subject field of information science, which is my area. And you put all your terms in quotation because you want to get the hits. The research methodology should be next to one another. You don't want to find research methodology somewhere in the abstract or in the title of the article. So you put them in quotes so that it talks to one another. They are next to one another. And I want information science as also next to one another. And then you press the enter key button. So this is how the Encore search results version looks like. It tells you that you searched this, and these are the results. But because it's searching across databases, in most instances, it gives you a lot of articles. It gives you articles, it gives you ebooks, it gives you, articles and ebooks from different databases. So it's your choice now to go and talk to those references and start limiting according to your own needs. So in this instance, I said to myself, I'm actually only interested in ebooks. You make a tick under the format of the kind of information that you want to look at. If you have a specific subject area, let's say it's too broad, you want to limit within the information science discipline, what do I want to look at? And in most cases, it will break it down into subject fields. You can limit according to that, but I've just stick to, I want only ebooks because I've got a quick project that I want to work on. And I'm looking at the ebooks on research methodology in information science only from 2015 to current year. And then I apply my limiters, and the system generated 458. So, and this is actually also ranked according to relevancy. You know, all the databases are ranked according to relevancy. Even if you put a time limiter, it always gives you the most relevant ones at the top of the list. So it's now up to you to, but because this doesn't allow me to make my own selection, like mark and put in the folder, or, you know, send this to my email or to my library of Mendeley. It doesn't allow you to make a selection. It just gives you all these nice titles. So how do you then, because I see most of these titles are most relevant to what I'm researching on, how do I then send this to my Mandalay library? If you have managed to successfully download this, what we call a web importer, it will always sit at the top here. You just click on it, you do your searching, you make your limiters, and you apply, you get your results, you click on this icon of the web importer. It will generate this, and because I'm already logged in, it gives me this. Sometimes when you do a search, you are not logged in, it will request you to log into your Mendeley account if you are not logged in. Then you quickly log in, then it opens this page. What is on this right-hand side page? It's all these titles duplicated here. If I'm interested in title 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, I'm able to now start. It gives me these little blocks where I can start making my own selection. And once I've selected, I click on add, meaning I want this added to my Mendeley library. And once I've clicked on add, all these are now going to be added on my Mendeley library, which is an online version. If I go and click on that view, what's in my library, then I will see this comes from my web importer. I've imported from Encore using my web importer to make my own selection. And then I click on that view my library, and then it shows me these 2 research methodology books that I wanted, the ebooks that I wanted from my Encore search they are placed at the top of my list. So here are the 2 books. If I want to look at them, I will click on the title. They will give me a link to the publisher's homepage where I will have a table of contents and choose the chapter that speaks to my research. I can download it, or I can add the chapter to my library. Because when you do that, it gives you that add to my library, to my Mendeley, it picks a chapter. And when you do that with chapters of books, just make sure that you reference properly. Don't take it as an article. Take it as a chapter from a book and reference it properly and cite it properly, that this is a chapter from this particular book, not an article. So this is how the web importer works. I'll show you when we go and do the demo as well on Google Scholar, how you're going to do your searches of Google Scholar and export using the web importer. So it's a wonderful tool to use. because when you do your Encore searching, it doesn't allow you to select, and no one wants to work with one item at a time. It's time consuming. Data is key. So you have to work smart and just have your web importer ready there. Open your Mendeley and add as you go along. And then when you want to check if it's there, you can just go and view it in your library Mendeley page. So this is how your Encore functions. Encore will allow you to search across databases. You will have articles mixed with ebooks. You can either limit according to your wishes, whether you want to start with the articles or whether you want to start with the ebooks. And I think it's nicer with ebooks because you have databases specific for your own article searching. So with ebooks, usually, you go there and then you can't find anything. I think Encore for you, if you are out there and you don't want to use our lending system, you can try Encore to have your ebooks that talk to your own topic by using our Encore searching function. Right, when you open your Google Scholar page, we're trying to make sure that you guys don't go and just Google anything. Google it gives libraries a headache. So we've just decided that now we have to actually advise our students and our researchers to rather stick to Google Scholar. And when you open the Google Scholar page, there are actually settings that you can save so that when you do any of the searching, because no matter how we want to direct you to our own library guides, researchers and students will always be the same. They always start with Google Scholar. So we advise you to use Google Scholar, but if you want Google Scholar to work for you, remember sometimes when you search on Google Scholar, there are times when students tell us, I found this on Google Scholar, but it wants me to pay. It's because you didn't do the settings. And and when we check that article, we realize that, but this article, we have a subscription for this particular journal. We have this journal from 1992 as an online journal in our collection. Why on earth did you go to Google or to Google Scholar sometimes? So when you use your Google Scholar, please take note of this. Do go and set your settings. There are 3 lines next to Google Scholar on this. You click on it, and then it allows you to click on the settings. So we're going to click on those settings, and then it gives this page. So when you get here, there's a Bibliographic Manager option. Because when you work on Google Scholar as well, there's no way you're going to be able to select some of the articles. Google Scholar doesn't allow you to select. You have to either open the article, read it, close it, go to the second one. But you can go and do the settings here. At the bottom here, there's a Bibliographic Manager setting. So you just say to it, show the citation import links, and then you click on it, and then it gives you all this. There's RefWorks for those who are still using RefWorks, but we are on Reference Manager. So you click on this Reference Manager, you select it, it will be highlighted, then you save it. Meaning, when you now start searching on Google Scholar, you are able to use your web importer, which will talk to your Google Scholar settings and send it to your library of references. So we click on our save, and then we go now to the system, to the Google Scholar system. We start searching for our topics, methodology in this particular subject area. And then it gives you all of this. It's a mixture of books. At the bottom here, there are some of the articles. And then as soon as you click on your web importer, it gives you the same like you had on your Encore, allowing you to now select these ebooks which are now sitting on the Google Scholar platform. And then you are able to add them onto your Mendeley account, and then you can just go and view them there. They will appear at the top of your list of your references. So it works the same, but here you have to do the settings. With Encore, you don't have to, you just do your limiters, and then you click on the web importer. It brings all the references. You know, all of these references are now transported here to allow you to make your selections. The same on Encore, you make all your selections, you limit according to your needs, and then you go to your web importer. It just transports what is sitting on your left-hand side to your Mendeley to your web importer option, and then you can start adding as many as you want. And then once you are done with your adding, and then you can go and view them in your library. When you click on view, they are all now added into your library, Mendeley library page. So it works similar, but here you have to do the settings properly. You cannot just go on Google Scholar and expect to import to your, because your web importer will be there. You have to do the settings before you can use this with Google Scholar. With Encore, you don't do any settings. You just search and then send them, add them to your library, and then you'll see you'll send them there by adding them to your library. Okay, and again on Google Scholar, instead of you getting articles or journal titles that we as a university do not subscribe to, and then you coming saying, yeah, no, I found this on Google Scholar and it says I must buy it, or, you know, there are so many dollars to pay. I'm just wondering how to get this article. If you want to save yourself from, you know, those stresses, you go to the settings again, and then this opens, there are library links. If you want to only search what your own institution subscribes to, you can go and just limit that according to your own university. You don't want to be searching stuff from UCT or UJ or University of Dar es Salaam, or, you know, one of the universities overseas, and knowing that we don't subscribe to those things. So you can limit according to your own university. You click here on library links, you put your name here, and then it will tell you that you can have access to all our open World Cat, because UNISA is part of a World Catalog, and the University of South Africa, which is your UNISA library, and some of our ProQuest full text databases will be listed. So you just tick here, or just put the university's name here, and then you save. So now when you do your searching on Google Scholar, I know most of you will not climb off Google Scholar, you know, despite the fact that we want you to use our own databases. You use your Google Scholar, you do your settings correctly. Then when you do any of the searching on Google Scholar, this is what happens. You're searching within your main library, my library. You're searching according to your library. If you look here, there is my library icon. This is your UNISA library as it appears on Google Scholar. So, and here you can even create alerts of any topic that you are searching on via Google Scholar. And not to say you can't do it with your databases. On the database searching, you can also create alerts, meaning if you are working on a certain topic and you want to be kept abreast of the developments in that topic, you can do it either on Google Scholar or also on the databases that we subscribe to. But on Google Scholar, then it will be only what the university subscribes to. And when you do the kind of searching on Google Scholar, this is what happens. Any PDF, any link to some of the publishers that we subscribe to, it will tell you that this article, we have a PDF version by Wiley, and UNISA library subscribed to Wiley. So you are now assured that there's no way you can go and search here And then when you open the article, then they start telling you this particular article, it's now, you have to pay for it. So it alerts you that because you made your selection, you've now created, you've saved the name of your university, everything that you're searching here will have UNISA Library subscribing to some of these journals. And then when you click on your web importer, of course, it will bring that window here where you have to add all of this. If you select to use some of this, you add them to your library, they will be exported to your, by the web importer, to your main Mendeley library page. Okay, so this is your Google setting. You start with your reference management, and then you say, I'm doing a search, but I want you to just limit to my reference management because I want to send all these articles to my reference manager, which is my Mendeley. You save, you add as you go along, and then you view them in your library. They will all be exported there. And then you go again on your Google settings, you select the university of your choice, and then, you know, of course, UNISA, and then it sets all your settings according to what we subscribe to. So you don't have that dilemma of searching across everybody's works and finding something from UCT which we don't have access to. Of course, it will want you to buy it. Okay, so at the end of the home page of my Mendeley, at the top there's a help function. They are very nice help guides. Familiarize yourselves with these. And on this page, we have our Word document. And if you open your Word document, if this is your submission, you now have written this chapter, you now want to insert some of the citations, because what is nice with this system is that they allow you to insert as you go along. It's a click option. You click, you enter, you click, you enter, you click, you enter, you click, you enter. At the end, you tell the system, create this bibliography of my choice in this particular citation style, and the bibliography will appear at the end of your work or your chapter or your document. But it always, when you open this reference option, you must have this Mendeley site, because once you create an account, you go to all the downloads, you download your reference manager desktop, you download your web importer, and you download this Mendeley site, and it must sit here. So if it's not sitting here, then there must be a problem. And I've realized that if you're not using Windows 10, you'll have a problem because it won't appear. So you'll have to ask your ICT people, whoever you are using, to make sure that it appears, and it has to be under your add-ins. It must, when you click on your add-ins, it has to be there, so that when you open your Word document, it always, under references, it always appears here. And once you are logged on the system, this is now how we're going to, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you're now going to insert citations in this document and create a bibliography as we move forward. Okay, I thank you. I'm sure we will answer the questions. I don't know if there are any questions. Maybe we can start answering the questions before I go into a demonstration. We're going to go, you go to your, from the library's homepage, you click on your library guides, you go to your referencing. So this is a legal, because I was trying to answer charity, so I thought maybe I can showcase this. So this is it's a law one. Everything, all the guides have the referencing tab. You click on the tab and then it appears like this, and then you go to Mandalay, and it opens on the Mandalay account. So I have to sign in with my account, and as soon as, because I've already signed in this morning, so it goes and open my page, but I go to my library. So this is it's a landing page, and then it will open my library page. So this is how my library page looks like. Can you see that it's syncing here? What it does, it's just trying to update what I have sent to this page if I was doing a search from somewhere. And this is my online page. This is where I said your most recently added. If you want to make sure, you know, these are the ones that you recently added, you can click on that. They will all appear. So these are the examples that I did this week. So these were the most recently added. Any of these, they come with this little stars. They are all have the links to PDF. Either I can go and fetch the PDF from there. I have to log in, authenticate with my student number if I'm a student, and then just get to that particular article that I'm trying to read now in my library. So once I'm logged in, it will refer me to a database where this particular article or the ebook is sitting. So, and then I can tell the system that I want to add this to my library, then it opens it up in my library. So this is one of these books that appeared here. I think this was the one that I've selected as a via my web importer. Then I can click on it because it's a full text ebook. Then I can start reading. And I don't want us to waste a lot of time opening up ebooks, e-journal, because we've done that before. So this is how the book looks like. Then I can just go full text. And when I click on the full text, there will be that icon at the corner there that says I can add this full textbook into my Mendeley. But remember, this is an ebook. So if I open the full book on the thing, it normally doesn't allow me to download the book. Remember, with ebooks, you have to use it, you know, according to the copyright laws, the 10% mantra. You can go through the book and download per chapter, but not the entire book. So this is actually not a good example to use now. But this is, and these are all my references. This is my online library Bible. And then you recognize that it's got a link here, and there's my web importer. So I'm going to close this because I want to open my desktop. So your downloaded desktop should be on your desktop. So if I'm offline, I'll be able to work with this version. And when you look at this, just take a note. It's syncing. Can you see that it's syncing, meaning it's updating this desktop from the version, from my online version. So this is your working documents when you want to work offline. So it allows you to work offline. If I want to see what's been recently added, so these are the recently added items that I was using. This will refer me to a page where there's a PDF which I can add and read it online to my library. So these, your desktop version and your online version, it's only different that this one sits on the desktop and it doesn't have a link on it, but this is it's my desktop version. Okay, so I'm going to close it and go back to my online version. So this is my online version, but now actually because you've seen how we can export, we can use actually articles, export articles. I mean, you've gone through a lot of training on article searching. So I just want to demonstrate quickly, if you're doing any kind of a search, how are you going to now export? Because I just want you to see how it works. Sorry about that. I'm looking for my own library guides. If I go to articles here, and then I'm just going to select one. It's just there for demo purposes. I'll select one, and then I'll tell the system I just want peer review articles, and maybe I can say from 2015 to 2022, and then just say, you know, research methods. I'm looking at research methods and information science. This is my area of study. Okay, you can either put the string or you can just use these ends as your connecting. And I use this as a keyword search. And it depends what I get, and I've got more than 1,000, and then I'll tell the system I'm just only interested in the English language, and then it will just update as per my request. And let's say, you know, I don't have time to go through a lot, but I can see methods and information science, because it's ranked according to relevancy, appear at the top list of my articles. I can just go and say, okay, I would want to have this number 1 and maybe the 3rd one and the 4th one. So you know, I've got this quick project that I want to look at, and I'm done. And I just go to folder view or just open this folder here, because now I want to send these articles for later reading. I'm not sending them to my email. I just want to export them to my Mandalay library. I just click here. Remember, I told you that the default will be on RefWorks because that's the first reference management tool that we used to subscribe to. You just change it to your reference manager here, and then you save. And what it does, it's going to sit here. And then when you click on this, open this in your RIS as a RIS file, it's going to now deposit this into my my Mendeley account. Fortunately, I've already logged in, so you'll see how it appears on my library. And unfortunately, it's appearing on my old version of my desktop, which I don't want, and it's syncing. And I think some of you have all these old desktop, but because I've got my new my version of this opened, so here are these 3. Let me say these are the recently added. If you look at these, this is an article that I've just added on application of inferential statistical methods in library and information science. It opened on my old desktop, but it also appears on my new desktop version, the new Mendeley desktop. So I still have the 2. I have to ask my ICT guys to delete the old one. But this is the article. This is the new article recently added. This is the one that I've just added now at this time, 10:07. Which comes from the database. That it's the same article. It appears on both your desktop and it will appear on your online version. So there it is. If I want to go and visit this article, it's by EBSCO. If I click here, it will take me to the PDF, and then I can add the PDF on this so that I can be able to read it. I'm sure you can see now how it works. You do a search, you select, and then you select your reference manager, you save, and then it pops up once you are logged in. It pops up as the first article or at the top of the list of your references. Okay, so these are the 3 that I've selected on research methodology as far as information science is concerned. So I'm going to close EBSCO and open a Google Scholar portal where I'm going to showcase you how you're now going to do these settings. Remember, with Google Scholar, it doesn't allow you to do your, I think my settings are set, but I just want to show you how you're going to do. You click on these 3 dots here, and then it says settings. You go here at the bottom here, it says mine is set already on reference management. First, it appears like this, but I have to select reference management and then save it. And as soon as I now start searching for anything, research methods in communication science, it gives me all of this. It's a mixture of books. And because I've already done the settings for my library, so I can see that most of these are available at UNISA subscribes to them because my settings are set. Okay, and then once I'm happy, these are my articles from the Google Scholar, then I have to, because I can't select from this list, but because I've downloaded my web importer correctly, so I've looked at this and I can see stuff that I can use for my research. I just click on that web importer. And then can you see now that because I'm signed in, it's trying to sign me in. If I'm not, it's going to give me a box to say, please sign in into your account. Then I can use my Mendeley sign in, and then it opens this. So what it does now, it's taking all of this and putting it here so that I can be able to make my own selection. Can you see that? So it transfers all what I've just searched on by using the web importer. It now allows me to go through this list on this right-hand side page. And it tells you if there is a PDF. It gives you the PDF version. So it's still uploading. So it tells me that this article, the PDF is not found. But you know, anything that doesn't have a PDF, you have to use your find each journal, use the title of a journal to find if this particular title of a journal is available somewhere else in our more than 400 or about 500 databases that we subscribe to. There's a possibility that you will find it somewhere from another database. So you just look at this and then you say, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one, and then you add it. And once you add it, it's taken to your library, your Mendeley library. So if I say I want to view what is in my library, I think I've added it. You'll see it's loading and it's syncing. So they'll have to, no, they are not, because I didn't, I didn't add them. I need to add them first. Can you see? You add them first, you select, and then you add before you view them. So after you've added them, you see this gray bars now have changed. They are gray, meaning I've added the two. If I go and view them there, I will see they will be the first ones that appear at the top of my list. Okay, so there they are, 10, 20, 10, 12. They've been added. If I go there now and open this, there they are. So I can either read it here. This is the link to the full text. I can download some of the pages. It opens up as a read document where I can just go and read and make notes and do all sorts of things with it, with this particular article. Okay, so this is my, and then here are the collections. If you want to have a new collection, you can just go and create. And there will be times when you haven't used a reference that was online and you would want to add it to your library. There it's an add new, and then there's an add an entry manually. What the system does, it will give you all kinds of if you have an old article that you've been using and you found it, you printed it from somewhere, or you've used a print book and you want to add it in your library, you have to do it manually. So you have to tell the system what kind of a reference this is. Is it a journal article? Is it a book section or a chapter that you've copied from somewhere? Is it a book that you've been using all along? Is it an article? Is it a report? Is it, you name it what it is, and then you have to complete all of this. And then you add the entry. You'll see it will jump to your top page, the one that you're going to add manually. We are not sure that we can add, because I know some of the students already have a Word document of references prepared. that, you know, before they registered for a Mendeley. It doesn't. It adds that kind of a bibliography as a folder. So it's a tedious job. Unfortunately, Mendeley doesn't allow us to export a Word document, and we are still figuring out how we're going to help some of you who already have list of references in a statistic, in a state of a Word document where you know where it's sitting. You can't upload it here because it will edit here as a folder, not as a list of references. When you click on it and then it appears as each item appearing, it will edit as a folder. We're still investigating how we can bypass that challenge where we can upload some of the Word documents that have been added. So the only solution now is to just, you know, if you can just go and search for those articles that are already in a document of some sort and then export them directly online here. And if it's a print version of something, you can edit manually here. So we don't have a mechanism on how we're going to as soon as we know, then we'll if you ask any of your personal librarians, you just keep on asking, but the only option is for you to just add them manually. And if it's online articles, just pick them there online and export them here. I think that's the only way this is going to help you. Okay, so you've seen how we did it on Google Scholar. And I just want to demonstrate quickly. I mean, the Google Scholar one is the same as the Encore Encore version. You just have to go and do a search on Encore and then you submit your search. It will give you the results and then you do all your limiters according to your needs. Remember, I told you that Encore searches across databases. You can see we've got more than 331,000 items on this particular topic on research methodology in information science. You can either, limit according to the format, whether you want academic journals or your conference material or ebooks. If I click on ebooks, the whole list will change into ebooks. It's not working today. Okay, we'll go for articles, journal articles. And then maybe the date of publication. Sorry, I'm so impatient. I actually want to go format. I want ebooks. I want more because if I want ebooks, I don't want articles. This will be nice if you want ebooks because in most cases you can't limit for ebooks when you do your database searching. So this is nice if you want to look at ebooks only in this particular area. And then you just pull your web importer there because you can't select individually here. It will allow you to now pull everything into this Mendeley right-hand side page. So it pulls everything here. Then it allows you to start adding. It's still loading. Then we'll add, like on your Google Scholar page, you'll just start selecting and then you say, I want this one, I want this one. It doesn't have a PDF, but it's fine. I'll just look at, or maybe I'll check with my library if there's an online version. And then you add them to your Mendeley account. And then as you go and view it there, you'll see it will sit at the top of your list. Okay. So Google Scholar settings, I'm sure you know now how to do it. And with Encore, it works the same as you just do a normal search and then you do all your limiters and then you use your web importer. So this is how the web importer actually will assist you to pull all your stuff from any web page. Whether it's a page of conference proceedings, as soon as you have your web importer, you can pull a page or references from all kinds of sites where you do a generic search and you pull information. It allows you to do that. And I think now I'm ready to go and demonstrate the way the the right-hand side. I'm going to close some of these so that at least I've got a functional, I won't close my Mendeley, I'll close Encore. I'm going to open my Word document. And now we're going to do the write-up. Remember when you, I'll just take any document here. No, I don't want this one. Let's see. Okay, I'll take this document here. So you open your Word document. You've now been exporting all these references to your Mendeley library, and they are now sitting on your either your desktop, or they're sitting both on your desktop and on your online version. So now you have to now start writing a chapter. You've written a chapter, but you need to pull the references, for this particular chapter, be it your proposal or your chapter 1 or your chapter 2. You now want to insert some of the references. So you just open any of your documents, and then you go and say, I just want to now use references. And because I've got a set style, my style is already set here as Harvard because I've already asked for it from here. But then before you even ask for a style here, you have to choose it from Mendeley. So when you click on that Mendeley site, I just want to do this so that I have a workable page. It is now loading all my references from my library. It's taking a while because I've got a long list of references. It's going to do the same with you if you have a big pool of references that you've been exporting for years. Okay, just want to do this because I just, I've got a small screen there that I'm working on. My laptop, it's so small. So it's now populated all of these references, and you can see this one, it's those recent ones that I've added as I was doing all my examples. So this is my whole references now that comes as a package, and this is my chapter that I need to submit to my supervisor. Before you can even start doing your in-text citation, you can either go here under Citation Style. There's a University of South Africa Harvard style. You can either, if you have confirmed with your supervisor, this is the style that you must go for. And there are other styles. There's all of these. So there's APA, different versions, and you can select another style. If your style is not here, you click here on select another style. You go and look whether you're using the Vancouver style, and if you are in other of the disciplines, the sciences, you look at other styles that are used in those disciplines according to the advice that you got from your supervisor. So you select another style and then you add it as your style of preference for your citations. So mine one is set as Harvard, and then under more, this is when you've done with your in-text citation, when you've said, this phrase come from Smith 2020, then you can ask the system to create a bibliography for you. But we'll do that as we do our practices. So these are my references. If I had folders, I would pulled all my references. But if I had folders, for instance, if I had a folder that speaks to literature review, and I'm working on a chapter on literature review, I would only pull references that speak to my literature review. So you can create folders as you go along, creating, adding your references. You can work according to folders, or in some instances, you cannot, you can just work with all references. But if you prefer to work with folders, you are happy to create, you can go ahead and create those folders so that when you submit per chapter, whether this is a chapter on methodologies or on literature review, on whatever topic that you're working on, you can do that. But you can also work with all your references at the same time. So what we have here, it's all my references. This is my document. I just want to move a little bit because I just wanted to explain something. So this is what my document looks like. What you're going to do, I wonder if I can, yeah, it's too broad. I'll go this way a little bit so that I have a swing here. You always have to put a cursor where you want to put your citation. So you put a cursor where your edition is supposed to go. And then, for instance, if I say I want to add this first one, my cursor is already there. I just click on insert the citation. Can you see what happens? Because my cursor is here and my style is Harvard, I'm putting it here. So it says this, and I'm not sure whether this is correct or what, because it did double, but you can always correct it by hand. Okay, so I go back to my references. Add a reference, and it's supposed to okay, save changes. I'm going to add another one. If you know the authors of these other references, you can also, where it says select the reference, if you know who the author of the article is, you can add an author's name, and then it will pop up. Then you know this is the right person. So I've added this one, then I put my cursor somewhere here. I go back to my list and say add this one, and then it adds it here. And then I go again, and say I want this one, and then add citation. There it goes. Go to the second one, go down my references at this particular one, go to my references and select this one, add citation. And you go through your list, you add another one, add citation. It's added like this. You scroll down, and if you're happy with your in-text citation in your document, you've quoted where you were supposed to quote, you have referred where you had to refer, that this particular phrase is from Smith or Napaai, whatever, and then you just go to the end of your document. You just put a cursor at the end of this document, and then you call it whatever you want to call it. You either say this is a bibliography, or these are reference sources, or these are a list of sources, whatever you and your supervisor agree on the term that you want to use. You just put it at the end here. Let's say, okay, let's go into, I don't want it in bold. So I want it at the end of the document, before this thing, and then I just call it a bibliography. You can either underline it if you want to, just to make it look nice and professional. You underline this and then you put this. And then once you're done, you just go and say to the system under more. Remember our more here, you click on more and then you say insert bibliography and continue. Okay, so there's your bibliography. Here, you can see it's now alphabetical. What is supposed to be in italics is in italics. Where there's supposed to be a comma, it's there. Where there's supposed to be a full stop, it's done for you. And all the the titles of journals are in italics, and in some referencing styles, if the name of the author needs to be bolded, it will be. And then now it's up to you to, you can copy this list and put it in the chapter of your choice, or you can just leave it with a chapter and then you're done. Then you submit it as is. And if there are corrections that you need to make in case you've chosen a style that you don't want to send links to your supervisor of the articles that you've used, you can do it manually. You can just edit them and delete all the links that are in this document, because in some instances it picks up either the link of a journal, or it gives you the reference of a journal and the volume, the issue number and the date, and sometimes it provides you with a DOI number. If that is not supposed to be part of your referencing citation style, after you've consulted with your supervisor, just delete the link, because it's not nice to get this long reference list with all the links popping up everywhere. So you just delete the links as you go along. You do it manually. And at some point with page numbers, because I know people will always ask, you know, what do you do if you have to cite a page number? In most instances with Mendeley, it does allow you to pop up a page, or you can do it also manually. Because in the old system, it used to say insert citation, and then it gives you a way where you can either click on the page with the old version of Mendeley. So this one, it doesn't actually give you an option for a page number, which means if maybe this particular reference here, the top ones, was on page 20 or 22 to 23, I will have to go to the citation itself and do it like this one. Let me just take this one. This is Harvard. I'll do it according to the way Harvard does it, and just put it page 9 to 10. Or in some instances, other people, in some, I think it's APA where you put a PP full stop or a P full stop, and then, so you'll have to do it manually as well. Okay, any questions here? Tony?
The two questions that came in, Jackie wanted to know if it's possible to transfer the items from the old version of Mendeley to the new one.
No. When you log on to the new Mendeley version, your old version articles will still be there. There's no way you're going to transfer. It speaks to the old one. The old one is going to disappear at some point. We don't know when, but it talks to the old one. Remember when I showcased the desktop, my old one popped up. It's still there, but it talks to the old desktop version and the new online one. So there's no way to transfer them. It will happen automatically.
Thank you. And,
it's just an upgrade of another the latest one.
Okay, no, thanks, Ms. Napaai. The other one wanted to know how to change Mendeley from private account to my live email account.
There's a help function on Mendeley. You just send them an email to change your credentials to this one. Remember I said this is an online version. I just want to go to my library, the first page. Okay, get support. Can you see under your name, you go and get support? You go there and then you send them an email to say you want your credentials to be changed from this to that. So there's a help button under your name where you go and send them an email. There's an email function. You can ask for assistance. You drop them an email there. I don't know whether you can see it. There's an email function that you can send that you contact Mandalay, and you tell them what these are your new contact details. They must change this email to that. Okay, you go to the help function, and then you'll find an email address where you can use to send them so that they can just, because when they do upgrades, if you had a private account, if these upgrades come, you miss out on the new upgrades. So if you are in the current UNISA system, then you benefit with all the upgrades that are coming through.